What's up guys, Anton here at DPR, and this week I thought it was pretty important to talk about the correlation between feeding, follicle development, and pairing. If you're ready, let's jump right into that. So when it comes to breeding ball pythons, there's definitely some things that are easier than others. It's pretty easy to get eggs, but it's harder to get eggs from a lot of females and to get that consistently. Over the years, I've basically tried to have inputs from a lot of breeders around the world. So my opinion in this video today is based on knowledge that I've gained through the 10 years of breeding that I've had, and also from different breeders around, here in Canada, the US, in Europe, and in Japan. So a lot of great inputs to go into breeding. So the main target of this video is really going to be, as I said in the intro, the correlation between the follicle development, the feeding habits and the feeding quantity, and as well the copulation and the timing to do them. So we're going to dissect a little bit. I think I'm going to start the video by showing you some examples of females, what I'm seeing, and then move on to more practical things. So to have everybody on the same page, I'm just going to re-explain a little bit what I have on my bins and the way it's layered so everybody understands pretty well. So basically on the left, I have, when I do ultrasounds, I have all the follicle development of all my females. So within the whole room, if you look at all the stickers, all the yellow stickers correspond to that. So basically the way I go, I'll put the month and then I put the size in centimeters. It's a very old ultrasound, so it's really about feeling it. I don't measure anything on the ultrasound itself. So my measurements are basically a little bit under a centimeter, about a centimeter, about 12 to 13 centimeters, a solid 1.5, and then it would go to like a 3, and then at 3 I would put a yellow tape to keep track and record for an ovulation. So this is basically the follicular development, and that tells me when I walk into my room, I can see very well that a female with very few stickers, for example, this female over here, she's not building strong right now, but a female with more sticker like this is building consistently towards bigger and bigger follicles. So then in the center, this is something that I picked up from Justin when I went to his facility at Kinova in December. So basically this tag in the middle is the feeding habits of the animal, and each symbol code for something different. So an X is basically refusal, A is for an ASF, a check mark is for a mice, and then a R is for a rat. And then the red bars in the center are basically the change of months. So basically we're in March now. This would be March, February, and January. And then on the far right, we have the copulation. This is something new for me this year. I've not done that in the past, and I don't understand why I haven't done it, because this is truly, truly phenomenal. So the way I do it is I write the date, and if the male locked the female, so a 0 in the bar would be no luck, and then an X would be basically a lock. Kind of confusing, but it works for me. So you'd see that this animal, there was basically 4 different attempts. She only locked on February 21st with this animal. So the best scenario possible is basically that you'll walk in your room, you check your female, you do ultrasound to look at the follicles, or you palpate, and you see good follicle development. The female is eating, you put a male in, she locks, she builds, she ovulates, gives you eggs. This is perfect scenarios. It happens for some of the females. Some of them are super easy to deal with, but some others, it's a different story. They're more difficult, and it could be from the male, it could be from the female, it could be from the food. There's a lot of variables, and that's a little bit of what I'm going to dive into in this video. So if we go back to those females, so those 4 females here, they're all double het DG paint. One of them is triple with clown, and all those girls, from the moment I've had them, they were all extremely picky eaters. I bought them at around a little over 1,000 grams. They were all pretty picky eaters, and since I have a decent supply of various prey items, so ASF, mice, and rats, I'm always managed to get them going on something, but never really consistently. So if you look, let's take for example this female here. So basically, if we check January at 1 centimeter, this was January, so she was kind of spotty on eating, took some ASF, but mostly refused. Then February, she was building more follicles, and as she was building more follicles, she was getting more and more interested in food. She even took a rat at this point. And then in April, you can see that she's consistently eating mice, no problem. She's really, really solid on eating. The one other thing also is that before February, she had 0 luck with any males. So before February 21st, she had no luck. So basically all this part here had no copulation. And then starting February, she did have a copulation. Odds are, a lot of those, probably the rat here, is the translation of that copulation a couple days after. So probably the feeding the week after, that's when she took the rat, and then she's always been on ever since. And that would be the exact same pattern, the exact same phenomenon. If you look at a female like this here, in March, she was at 1 April. She's at she's growing nicer and nicer follicle. She got her first luck in March, and you can see that from that point of that first luck, she started eating like crazy. So all of that basically means that you can have a female that starts to develop follicles, but the follicle development doesn't necessarily translate right away into female slamming food. They need something more sometimes, and that would be a copulation. So a copulation will sometimes trigger females to really go and kick into breeding mode. So I'll give you another example of this example is actually pretty fantastic. This is a OD Vanilla Mojave Spot Nose puzzle. That's a female that I showed in my top 10 last week. And this female was building decent follicle, like she was at 1 centimeter, nothing crazy. But I really wanted to have a specific male for her, and he's not eating, so I decided to switch and give another one. So you see that in March, I tried that specific male, didn't luck with the female, and then mid-March, pretty much towards the end, March 22nd, she got a luck. And you can see that in January, February, and early March, she was refusing absolutely everything. And then right after the copulation, we're March 26th today. So right after that copulation, 4 days after, she slammed on an ASF right away. And let's take a look if she ate the second one that I put in there. As you can see, she snagged that second ASF. A female that could be building some decent follicles, but will need a bit more. Obviously, if this female is not eating, she's not going to transfer all those follicles into eggs at some point. If she's not eating, she needs to eat to gain energy and create those eggs. So that's why we want our females to be growing. And now with that copulation, that kick-started her and she's ready to go. So let's get into another example here. This is going to be our final example. And this goes to show that sometimes the appetite of an animal and the behavior will change over time with copulation. So this animal, this is a double het and answer clown that I produced in 2019. So this female has always been super picky. She's only eating mice, that's it. And from the moment she got her luck, her copulation on February 26th, right afterwards, she started eating and slamming rats, and not only live rats, but frozen thawed. And this female is always, look at where she's standing. She's right in front of the bin. She's super alert. I move my hand. She's looking at it. She's smelling. She wants to eat food because there's two factors. First of all, she's building very good follicles. She's at 1.5 centimeters. And also because she had a successful luck. So this female, she's giving me all the signs that she wants to go. If I didn't breed her and waited for her to develop more and more follicles, maybe I would have missed her this year because she would not have eaten enough food to transform that into follicles. So it's all about finding the right time to breed and sometimes finding the right time to stop breeding if a female comes back as being more and more spotty over time, even after a few copulations. Sometimes it happens. A female will eat very well and then stops eating completely. Example for this female here, she was on ASF in January, and then February completely stopped now. She just took an ASF this week, but this female reabsorbed follicles. So that's why she was not pounding food. She was not interested in pounding food. So that's some of the reason why something like that can happen. So it's really important to understand the correlation between that stimulation of the female with the food, with the copulation, and the follicle development. It really helps to kickstart your season and sometimes to go get extra clutches from younger female that are not really eating very well. You throw a male in there, they luck, and then the week after you see complete behavior change in the female. She's interested in food, she's slamming food like crazy, and then in the next weeks or months, you'll see the follicle development go through the roof most of the time on those females. When you have a switch in the behavior and the female starts to eat like crazy, it's really good news. So guys, really hope you enjoyed this video. This was way more technical than some of the other videos that I'm used to do, but it's fun to do something more in-depth about breeding and the way we keep track of information. Keeping track of information is an art to master, and I'm getting better and better at it. Right now, I like it. The one little change that I would do is on the copulation sticker that I have here, I don't have anything that shows which male is which. So probably I would highlight if there's a second male. So let's say, for example, all these are the same male, and then for some of them it's a new male. I would highlight in a new color, so that goes to show that, oh, that's a second male or a third male going in. But all that being said, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you like, I have a playlist down somewhere in the channel all about tips and tricks, and there's a lot of videos like that when it comes to investment, breeding strategies, genetics understanding, and market understanding as well. So if you like content like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more. Go check our Instagram for daily snake content and our Morph Market for available animals. I'm getting better and better at this. On this, cheers. We'll see you soon.